we are looking at question 3 from your free response 4 assignment. And in question 3, we're actually looking at the relationship between the rate of inflation and the rate of unemployment. And we want to draw a short-run Phillips curve. Now you can find that again on your handout right here. And this is the graph handout that you can get if you go to your link in the course AP practice exam and just click right here on all the graphs you need to know for macro. Okay, so the short run curve is the downward sloping curve, and when you draw it, you can either draw it, like you see here, or you can draw it linear, like I have drawn here. Either way, as long as it's downward sloping and you have the rate of inflation on the vertical axis and the rate of unemployment on the horizontal axis. And what this shows is that as we lower the rate of inflation, the rate of unemployment is going to rise. Okay, so that's simple enough. The next question is they're asking you, using your graph in part A, show the effect of an increase in the expected rate of inflation. Okay, well the short answer here is you just simply need to show a rightward shift in the Phillips curve, but I want to show why that is. And in order to show why that is, we need to put the long run Phillips curve in, and we're going to put it right here. And that's going to be the natural rate or the full rate of unemployment, and it's going to be vertical, so that it shows you can see visually that because the long run Phillips curve is vertical, the rate of inflation doesn't have any effect on the long run unemployment. So the theory is that in the long run, the unemployment rate always comes back to the natural rate. Now, this isn't true. This isn't totally true, but theoretically, we can make an argument that there are forces in the economy that are going to push the rate of unemployment back to its natural rate. So now, once we get this long run Phillips curve in here, we can kind of work through a scenario and see how this Phillips curve is going to shift as a result of expected inflation. So just reading up here. So we're going to suppose that the inflation rate unexpectedly goes up. So this is not expected, this is unexpected. Now that's going to cause a movement along the line here. And so in the short run, if we have a rise in a price level, we're going to get less unemployment. We're going to get more employment. So we're going to end up right here. Now I'm just going to put that right there like that. And we're going to end up at a lower rate of unemployment in the short run because of the movement along that short run of Phillips curve. So we're going to end up here. Now, so what we can say is, at first, workers and firms, not realizing how much the equilibrium inflation rate has risen, the wages and prices don't really go up as much as they should, and the unemployment rate falls. Okay? Now what's going to happen is that as time passes, this unexpected becomes expected, and the wages go up to match the rising price levels, and that's going to push, and that's where you see the shift when the unexpected inflation becomes expected. Then you see a shift in the short run Phillips curve, and then we get, so let me just put this, so we're going to see this shift right here, and we're going to, and let me add that in right there, and we're going to see the rate of unemployment go back to the natural or the full rate, and we're going to move from here over to here, and we'll be at point, let's call that point E, okay? Call that point E. So that the long run result is price levels go up, we'll put that right there. Price levels are going to go up in the long run, so we're going to have a higher rate of inflation in the long run, but there will be no reduction in the long run in unemployment. So the rate of employment will gravitate back to its natural rate. So that's how. So that's more of the detailed explanation of why when we get unexpected, or I'm sorry, backwards. When we get expected inflation, when it becomes expected, which is what it's saying right here, expected, we're going to see a shift right in the Phillips curve. Okay, but it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you don't see it in the context of the long run of Phillips curve right here. Okay, now we're almost done here. We're going to go to part C. Actually, we've already answered part C. It will have no effect. The long run of Phillips curve is not affected by the rate of inflation. And we've shown that. Okay, part D. Given the increase in the expected rate of inflation from part B, will the nominal interest rate go up, go down, or remain unchanged, and what will happen to the real interest rate? And this is going to, and if we answer part D, we're going to easily answer part E. Okay, so if we think about that, and remember that the real interest rate equals the nominal minus the inflation rate. Okay, so if the real interest rate is 5% and we have an inflation rate of 2%, then we want to have a nominal interest rate of 7 in order for lenders to get this 5% real interest rate, because remember, the 2% rate of inflation drives buying power down. It devalues money. So in order for lenders to lend money and get a real interest rate of 5%, they're going to have to charge a nominal interest rate of 7% in order to compensate for the 2% inflation. So the nominal rate is going to go up. So that answers. So if we have a if the rate of inflation goes up from 2% to 3%, then the nominal is going to go up to compensate so that the real interest rate can be maintained at 5. So if the rate of inflation goes up, and in this case they're calling it the expected rate, right? So if we're expecting it, if they know it's going to happen, if they're pretty sure it's going to happen, then nominal rates will be adjusted in order so that the real interest rate does not change. So the answer to part 2 is the real interest rate remains unchanged because of the adjustment in the nominal. Okay, now, and that helps us to easily answer part E. We actually already have, and this is just this 4% that they're giving you for the growth rate of the GDP. You don't need that at all. That's just in there to, I guess, test you and make sure that you know the variables that are needed here, and that's not one of them. Okay, so you just need to go back, and we've already done it. They're giving you a nominal rate of 8% and an inflation rate of 3, and we've done that right here, right? So that you're going to get a real interest rate of 5%, and that takes care of question 3. Now I've given you a bonus question here. Okay, now I want you to try it, and you should be able to answer this on your own. There's a section in the book that really does a good job of explaining a bank's balance statement. So see if you can answer the bonus question on your own. And if you have problems and this bonus is really, and you can't figure it out, then send me an email and I will make a video explaining how to answer this question. Okay? All right.